Honesty is a core value that should be taught from an early age. It's not just about telling the truth, but also about living according to positive values. Children learn honesty through education and by observing the example set by their parents. When children live honestly, they build trustworthy relationships and develop self-esteem. Teaching honesty is not just advice. It's a crucial responsibility to help them grow into people of integrity and accountability. Before we begin, if this is your first time visiting my channel, please hit subscribe and like this video. It will help me continue creating more content like this in the future. Now, let's explore 8 essential lessons about honesty that every child should learn to grow into strong, trustworthy individuals. In a world where deception and concealment are sometimes seen as easier paths, teaching children that honesty is a strength is crucial. Honesty doesn't make children weak. Instead, it helps them become stronger, more confident, and trustworthy in the eyes of others. Understanding honesty. Honesty isn't just about telling the truth when asked. It's about living according to moral principles, doing the right thing even when no one is watching. This requires courage because being truthful can sometimes mean facing unwanted consequences. However, confronting the truth is always the best way to solve problems in a sustainable way. A story of leading by example, George Washington and the cherry tree. One of the most famous stories about honesty is from George Washington's childhood. As a young boy, he accidentally cut down a valuable cherry tree in the garden. When his father confronted him, Washington admitted what he had done, even though he knew he might be punished. His honesty not only spared him from harsher consequences, but also helped build his lifelong reputation as a man of integrity and respect. Applying the lesson in daily life. Parents should lead by example. Children learn best through observation. When parents consistently demonstrate honesty in their words and actions, children recognize it as a valuable quality. Small daily actions, such as returning extra change after a purchase or admitting mistakes at work, leave a lasting impression on young minds. Encourage children to tell the truth. Instead of scolding, create a safe space where children can admit their mistakes without fear of severe punishment. This helps them feel secure in being honest about who they are. A simple reward like praise or a warm hug can reinforce the importance of honesty. Teach the positive outcomes of honesty. Children need to see that honesty not only helps them avoid negative consequences, but also builds respect and trust from others. When children realize that being truthful earns them good friends and teachers' trust, they are more motivated to live honestly. Handling difficulties and being honest. Teach children that being honest isn't always easy, especially when faced with tough situations or the fear of punishment. Help them practice expressing the truth sincerely but thoughtfully, while reassuring them that honesty will always be valued, regardless of the circumstances. Building character over time. Honesty isn't a one-time lesson, but a lifelong journey requiring patience and consistent effort from parents and schools. Activities like moral storytelling, group discussions, and role-playing games can help children understand and practice honesty naturally. Call to action. Remember, honesty is a courageous choice, not a weakness. When children learn to live honestly, they develop strong, trustworthy personalities and grow into future leaders with integrity. Teach them that truth holds the greatest power, even when it's the hardest thing to say. Let's build a community of kindness by subscribing to Stoicism for Success right now and sharing it with those you wish to see live with kindness and strength like us. Let's spread these positive values together. In life, words can be easily spoken, but actions are the true measure of a person's character and values. Children need to be taught that actions carry far more weight than promises or fancy words. When they understand that actions have real consequences, they will live more responsibly and become trustworthy individuals. Understanding the power of actions. Young children are often captivated by praise and promises. However, when promises aren't kept, they learn to doubt and lose trust in adults. On the other hand, when they see positive actions consistently happening, they begin to understand that the world can be trustworthy and fair. Parents as living examples. A parent's actions are the most powerful lessons children can learn. If parents teach kindness but act rudely, children will mimic negative behavior rather than follow good advice. For example, if parents stress the importance of punctuality but are frequently late themselves, children will learn that actions matter more than words. Lessons from history's role models. History is filled with stories of individuals who left lasting impacts, not through words, but through decisive actions. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just talk about equality, he led marches for civil rights. Nelson Mandela didn't just speak about freedom, he endured 27 years in prison for the cause. These actions changed not only their lives, but also the course of human history. Teaching through action. Keep your promises. If you promise to play with your child after dinner, be sure to follow through. This shows respect and builds trust. Show kindness in action. When someone needs help, act immediately in front of your child. Explain why you're helping so they can understand the value of compassion. Practice gratitude together. Participate in charitable activities or help neighbors together. This demonstrates that kindness isn't just words, but something to be practiced regularly. Dealing with mistakes through action. No one is perfect. Teach children that making mistakes isn't as bad as hiding them. When they mess up, encourage them to admit their mistakes and find ways to make things right instead of blaming others or lying. This builds personal responsibility and courage. Developing positive actions over time. Good actions don't appear naturally, they result from consistent practice. Parents and schools must work together to create a supportive learning environment. Extracurricular activities like team sports, volunteering, and group projects help children see that positive actions benefit not only themselves, but also the community. Call to action. Actions are the clearest reflection of character. Words may be forgotten, but good deeds leave lasting impressions. Help children understand that living well isn't just about saying the right things, but about doing the right things, even when no one is watching. Actions are the most powerful language we can use to change the world. Lies may temporarily conceal the truth, but in the end, the truth will always come to light. Children need to learn that lying isn't a way to escape trouble. It leads to even more severe consequences. By understanding that the truth can't be hidden forever, children will develop honesty and take responsibility for their actions. Why do children lie? Children lie for various reasons: to avoid punishment, impress friends, or due to an active imagination. This behavior is common in early development. However, without proper guidance, lying can become a serious problem as they grow older. Consequences of lying. Lies never disappear. When children lie, they must keep creating more lies to cover the original one. This leads to constant fear of being exposed and erodes trust from parents, teachers, and friends. A classic lesson: the boy who cried wolf. One of the most famous fables about the consequences of lying is the boy who cried wolf. The boy often cried out that a wolf was attacking his sheep just to trick the villagers. When the wolf finally came, no one believed him and his sheep were eaten. This story emphasizes that lying can cause permanent loss of trust. Teaching children to avoid lying. Create a safe environment. Children need to feel safe admitting their mistakes without being harshly scolded or punished. When they see that parents listen and understand, they will be less likely to lie. Praise honesty. When children tell the truth, even in difficult situations, acknowledge their courage. This motivates them to continue being honest. Explain the consequences of lying. Use stories or real-life examples to help children understand that lying can hurt others and cause them to lose trust and friendships. Stay calm. When you catch a child lying, stay calm and avoid reacting angrily. Ask them why they lied and help them understand the consequences. Turn the mistake into a learning experience rather than focusing on punishment. Encourage fixing the mistake. If a child lies to cover up a mistake, encourage them to make things right. For example, if they broke something and lied about it, work with them to repair or replace the item. This teaches them that honesty can help solve problems. Call to action. Honesty is the foundation of all lasting relationships. When children learn that lies are always discovered and result in lost trust, they will gradually form the habit of living truthfully. Teach them that truth is always stronger than any lie. Being honest helps children gain respect from others and feel relieved from the fear of being caught. Cultivate honesty in even the smallest actions. It's the most valuable gift you can give your child. Trust is not something that comes naturally. It must be built daily through words and actions. Children need to learn that trust is a valuable asset, easy to lose but hard to regain. When children understand the value of trust, they will live responsibly and appreciate the relationships they have in life. Understanding trust. Trust isn't just about believing someone's words, it's about consistency in actions. A trustworthy person always follows through on what they say and keeps their promises. Children need to know that every honest action and fulfilled promise strengthens the trust others place in them. Parents as the foundation of trust. Parents are the first people children learn to trust. If parents consistently keep their promises, children will feel safe and secure. Conversely, if parents break promises or act inconsistently, children may lose trust. For example, if you promise to read a bedtime story but frequently skip it, your child will feel disappointed and doubt future promises. Building trust through actions. Keep your promises. If you promise something to your child, follow through on time and as promised. This teaches children that words must align with actions. Be honest in communication. Always be truthful, even when delivering difficult messages. Explain your reasons instead of lying to avoid uncomfortable situations. Be consistent with rules. If you set family rules, enforce them consistently. This helps children see fairness and understand that you take your words seriously. Teaching children the value of trust. Teach children that trust results from repeated positive actions. When they keep promises, complete assigned tasks, or admit mistakes honestly, they gain respect and trust from others. Handling broken trust. No one is perfect. Sometimes parents may break promises due to unforeseen circumstances. When this happens, admit your mistake and sincerely apologize. This doesn't diminish your authority. It teaches children responsibility and how to make amends. Rebuilding trust. If children have lied or done something wrong, teach them that trust can be restored over time. Encourage them to fix their mistakes through positive actions and live honestly to gradually regain others' trust. Team games. Involve children in group activities where cooperation and honesty are essential for success. Role-playing scenarios. Use stories and real-life scenarios to help children learn how to build trust in everyday situations. Call to action. Trust is the foundation of all lasting relationships. When children learn that trust must be built daily, they will live responsibly, honestly, and value the precious relationships in their lives. Help children understand that trust is not just something they receive. It's something they must nurture by living according to their values. Honesty is not just a virtue, but also the foundation of respect in every relationship. When children learn to live honestly, they gain not only trust, but also respect from others. This is a well-deserved reward for those who always choose to speak the truth and live by their values. Honesty helps children build credibility and trust. An honest person is seen as reliable, committed to their word, and consistently doing the right thing. Respect cannot be demanded. It must be earned through sincere, consistent, and trustworthy actions. In daily life, a student who is honest during exams earns respect from teachers and peers, even if their scores are not the highest. Within the family, a child who admits their mistakes will be valued more by their parents than one who tries to hide the truth or shift the blame. History and everyday life are full of stories of individuals respected for their honesty. Abraham Lincoln, famously known as Honest Abe, is a prime example. From a young age, he was renowned for his absolute honesty, even walking miles to return a few extra cents. This unwavering integrity not only earned him public trust, but also made him one of the greatest presidents in American history. Parents should set an example by always being honest. Children learn best by observing adults who practice what they preach. When children admit their mistakes, praise their courage rather than focusing solely on punishment. Help children understand that admitting mistakes and making amends is the way to regain respect from others. Children may not always be honest, especially when they fear punishment or want to impress others. When children lie, handle the situation calmly and patiently. Ask them why they lied. This helps you understand the underlying issue and address it appropriately. Children need to understand that lying hurts others and causes them to lose respect. Guide them to correct their mistakes through actions, such as apologizing or compensating for what went wrong. Use short stories about honesty to teach children through specific scenarios. Create role-playing situations for children to practice handling difficult situations honestly. Regularly hold family discussions about the value of honesty and respect. Honesty is the pathway to lasting respect. When children live honestly, they not only build trust, but also become admired and valued by others. Teach them that respect doesn't come from appearing perfect, but from consistently living by their values, even when it's most challenging. Let's come together to support our community. If you are a kind person, please hit the like button on this video and leave some energetic comments to spread positive vibes. Together, we can make a difference. Nobody is perfect, and making mistakes is inevitable in life. However, what truly matters is not avoiding mistakes at all costs, but learning to admit them and make amends when necessary. Teaching children to take responsibility for their actions is the foundation of building strong and trustworthy character. Admitting mistakes as a sign of strength. Admitting mistakes is not a sign of weakness, but a reflection of courage and integrity. When children understand that acknowledging their faults doesn't make them less capable, they will develop confidence and a growth mindset. This attitude helps them face challenges with resilience rather than avoiding responsibility. The true meaning of apologizing. Children need to realize that saying "I'm sorry" is more than a formality. It's a way to repair damaged relationships. A sincere apology includes acknowledging the mistake, expressing regret, and taking corrective action. For example, if a child breaks a friend's toy, apologizing and promising to fix or replace it teaches accountability. Parents as role models. Parents play a crucial role in setting examples. When parents admit their own mistakes in front of their children, they send a powerful message that no one is perfect and that taking responsibility is normal. If parents promise to take their children on an outing but can't follow through, explaining the reason and rescheduling shows respect and responsibility. Teaching forgiveness. Children also need to learn the value of forgiveness. Accepting an apology helps restore trust and rebuild relationships. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting the mistake. It means giving others a chance to improve and learn from their actions. Creating a safe space for admitting mistakes. If children struggle to admit their faults, parents should listen and encourage rather than criticize. Creating a safe environment where children can admit their mistakes without fear of harsh punishment helps them feel understood and motivated to change. When children see that parents focus on solutions rather than blame, they will learn to address problems positively. Building responsibility through practice. Teaching children to admit mistakes and make amends is a long process that requires patience and consistency. Parents can use stories or hypothetical situations to explain the importance of taking responsibility and the consequences of avoiding it. Role-playing games are also an effective way for children to practice communication and conflict resolution skills in a safe environment. The power of accountability. Admitting mistakes and making amends doesn't diminish a person's worth. In fact, it enhances self-respect and earns respect from others. When children understand that every mistake can become a learning opportunity, they will develop resilience, integrity, and the courage to face life's challenges head-on. Speaking the truth is an act of courage, especially when facing uncertain consequences. Children need to be taught that the truth may be hard to say, but it is always worth it. When children understand that telling the truth doesn't make them weak, but instead makes them stronger, they will learn to live with integrity and gain trust from others. Overcoming the fear of telling the truth. The biggest reason children fear telling the truth often comes from being afraid of punishment, feeling ashamed, or disappointing others. However, when children realize that truth is always more valuable than any lie, they will feel safer admitting mistakes or sharing their thoughts. This understanding is essential for building trust and forming healthy relationships. Creating a safe environment for honesty. Parents must create an environment that encourages children to be honest from an early age. A non-judgmental, supportive environment reduces the fear of harsh punishment and encourages children to be truthful. If children believe that telling the truth will result in extreme consequences, they are more likely to hide the truth or lie. On the other hand, when they see that honesty is met with fairness and understanding, they will be more open. Active listening without judgment. One of the most effective ways to encourage honesty is listening without interruption or overreaction. When children share something difficult, stay calm and show genuine interest. This approach makes them feel respected and willing to open up more in the future. Recognizing courage in truth-telling. Praise children when they show courage by telling the truth, even when it's hard to hear. Acknowledging their honesty strengthens their self-esteem and encourages positive behavior. For instance, if a child admits to breaking a valuable item, thank them for being truthful and work together on fixing the problem instead of reacting with anger. Learning from historical role models. Stories of historical figures like Nelson Mandela or Malala Yousafzai demonstrate the power of speaking the truth. Despite facing danger, they bravely stood up for justice and truth, leaving behind inspiring legacies. Children can learn from these examples that telling the truth not only protects personal integrity, but also has the power to change the world. Teaching through stories and role-playing. If children have a tendency to hide the truth or lie, use stories or real-life examples to explain how lies create more problems and damage trust. Role-playing games can also help them practice truth-telling in tricky situations without feeling pressured or judged. Truth is strength, not weakness. Telling the truth is a sign of strength, not weakness. When children learn to be honest, they not only become trustworthy, but also build self-respect and resilience. Teach them that no matter how difficult the truth may be, it is always the right and most powerful choice. Finally, help children see that truth matters, not only in major situations but also in everyday life. When they understand that honesty builds trust and love, they will choose to be truthful without being forced. Honesty is a habit that must be nurtured daily through small actions, starting with the courage to speak the truth, even in challenging situations. Children learn the most not from what they hear, but from what they see. Being a role model for honesty is the most effective way to teach children to live with integrity. When parents, teachers, and adults around them practice honesty, children see it as a natural standard and follow it naturally. Honesty through daily actions. Honesty cannot be faked or hidden. Simple everyday actions, such as keeping promises, avoiding cheating, or admitting mistakes, send children the message that honesty is a core value. When parents always tell the truth, even when it's difficult, children understand that honesty is not just an option, but a guiding principle for life. Keeping promises. One of the best ways to lead by example is doing what you say. If you promise to take your child on an outing over the weekend, follow through, no matter how busy you are. When children see their parents consistently keeping promises, they learn to do the same. On the contrary, if adults frequently break promises or lie to avoid responsibility, children will see this behavior as normal and mimic it. Admitting mistakes. Openly, admitting mistakes in front of children is another essential way to set an example. Nobody is perfect, and acknowledging errors shows humility and courage. For instance, if parents forget an important event in their child's life, they should admit the mistake and offer a sincere apology. This doesn't diminish parental authority. It helps children understand that everyone makes mistakes and that what matters is how we fix them. Honesty in the classroom. In schools, teachers can set examples by treating students fairly and transparently. If a teacher realizes they've made a mistake in grading or judgment, admitting the error and correcting it earns students respect instead of fear. This teaches children that honesty builds trust and mutual respect. Learning through inspiring stories. Parents and teachers can share real-life stories about famous figures known for their honesty, such as Mahatma Gandhi or George Washington. These stories show that honesty isn't just a theoretical value, it's a powerful force that can change the world. Learning about such role models helps children understand that living honestly earns respect, brings peace of mind, and fosters pride in oneself, encouraging honesty in difficult situations. If children make a mistake and try to hide it, avoid harsh punishment. Encourage them to admit the truth by praising their courage when they speak up. Timely encouragement helps children develop the habit of being honest rather than lying out of fear. Progress, not perfection. Teach children that honesty isn't about being perfect. It's about continuous effort. Children will feel safer knowing that adults don't expect perfection, but value sincerity and a willingness to correct mistakes. The power of honest role models. Finally, honesty is an irreplaceable value in shaping character. When children grow up in an environment where honesty is consistently practiced and appreciated, they become trustworthy, respectful individuals with strong moral values. Lead by example through actions, because what children see shapes who they become in the future. Honesty is the cornerstone of building strong character and nurturing meaningful relationships. Teaching children to be honest is not a one-time lesson, but a continuous journey shaped by example, patience, and understanding. When parents and caregivers lead with integrity, admit their own mistakes, and create a safe space for open communication, children naturally adopt honesty as a way of life. Ultimately, honesty is the most valuable legacy one can pass down, a timeless gift that empowers children to become trustworthy, confident, and respected individuals in society. By fostering honesty in everyday actions, we not only shape better individuals, but also create a more compassionate and trustworthy world. Thank you for watching this video. Let's support our wonderful community by hitting subscribe and turning on notifications right now. Show everyone that you're living kindly by liking the video and sharing your experiences in the comments. Take action now to spread positive energy